All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. So we have news for the Las Vegas Raiders. Early this week, they will have a decision on the looming offensive coordinator position. And I can't wait. I'm absolutely ecstatic. Antonio Pierce is now the official head coach for the Las Vegas Raiders. Tom Telesco is the official GM for the Las Vegas Raiders. It feels like once Josh McDaniels officially got fired and Antonio Pierce came in as the interim head coach, the tides completely turn. Antonio Pierce leads this team to one of, if not the best statistical defenses in the National Football League since he was, the interim head coach. And you pick up Tom Telesco in, your new GM, and it just feels like the free agency, over $40 million in cap space. You've got a nice range. You won 8 football games. You were so close to the playoffs, and you still have, a really solid first-round draft pick. It wouldn't shock me if they decide to trade up to pick number 9, pick number 10 to take their quarterback. They have a really exciting future, and the offensive coordinator is huge. So Zach Robinson is gone, Kellen Moore is gone, but we've been heard rumblings of Cliff Kingsbury, most recently Clint Kubiak, and once again the early week decision is coming for the Raiders. So I'm extremely excited no matter who the offensive coordinator is going to be. I see so many comments, so many people saying, don't go for the big names, don't go for the Cliff Kingsbury, yada, yada, yada. To me, it doesn't really matter because I have full faith in this organization, and I have not felt comfortable with a statement like that with the Raiders in years. So welcome back to the channel. We're obviously talking Raiders football in today's video, but before we do, if you guys enjoy it, be sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content, along with a couple of Raiders videos every single week. Raiders fans, if we could try and get this video to 250 likes, it would mean the absolute world to me. So once you get your offensive coordinator, you need to figure out your quarterback position. And I want to make it abundantly clear, actually. I think Aiden O'Connell is a very capable, very competent quarterback. Christmas Day, he takes down the Kansas City freaking Chiefs, and that's something the Raiders had not done in way too many games against Kansas City. In fact, in Aiden O'Connell's final 4 games, he had 8 touchdowns and 0 interceptions. But then we go back to games like Minnesota, where you had 0 points. So yeah, it would, take down the Kansas City Chiefs on Christmas Day. You end the season on a high note, but 0 points against Minnesota, and that has nothing to do with Minnesota because I think they have a really good defense. But the point still stands. I just want, at the very least, some competition at the quarterback position. So, in the last couple of weeks since the regular season has ended, we've been talking about guys like Kirk Cousins, Ryan Tannehill, Michael Penix in the draft. We've been talking about trading for Justin Fields. We've talked about a bunch of different quarterback possibilities. What I still think at the end of the day is I still think they're going to bring in a veteran-esque QB. In our last Raiders video, you guys mentioned Gardner Minshew. I think Gardner is the perfect example of exactly what I am looking for in competition at the QB position. Now, if Tom Telesco and the Raiders organization, if they have a guy, you know what I'm saying? If they have their quarterback, and I'm not saying they're going to trade up for pick number 1. I'm not saying they're going to trade for pick number 2 or pick number 3, and they want I'm sure they want Jaden Daniels. I'm sure they take Drake May. I'm sure they take Caleb Williams. But if we're keeping it a buck here, the trade value is going to be way too high. We've already seen some rumored trade possibilities of, Max Crosby and this whole bundle of picks and compensation for the first pick in the draft. The Raiders aren't that desperate. They just won 8 football games with all the dysfunctionality with Josh McDaniels in the first half of the season, and with a fourth round, technically third string quarterback at the start of the season in Aiden O'Connell. They almost made the playoffs. If they scored more than 3 points against Minnesota, or if they took down the Indianapolis Colts, this team would have been in the playoffs. And so that's a huge milestone, or it would have been a huge milestone, but I still think it's so indicative of this team's future. There's looming decisions, right? Josh Jacobs coming off career lows in every single statistical category. But at the end of the day, with the running back market, it's you know what? He might be down to get tagged again, right? Devontae Adams, crazy, talented star wide receiver, one of the best in the entire business. Are the Raiders going to use him as a trade chip? So what I mean by trading up for your guy is like pick number 8, pick number 9, pick number 10 to get a guy like Michael Penix or just whoever you think is going to be QB1. And once again, I just have to continue to reiterate this fact. The draft boards, the mock drafts, all of this stuff is going to change so much from right now to the time of the actual NFL draft. And we're like about a month away from when people really kind of start to get more intrigued. You know, you get the combine, you start to see a lot more mock drafts at a consistent level. Like, it's going to change. You know, we got to see these guys work out. We got to see these guys at the combine and et cetera, et cetera. So the point is still this. The Raiders offense has so much talent. And yes, they need to make a couple of moves with the offensive line. And they have some decisions to make with Josh Jacobs, Hunter Renfrow, Devontae Adams. But still, it's a really good time. And so most importantly, you need to get the offense coordinator right. And we'll have that decision in a couple of days, I assume. Like I said, probably 72 hours from the time a lot of you guys watch this video, they will have made their decision. Whether it's Cliff Kingsbury, Clint Kubiak, whoever it's going to be, then you got to go quarterback. But still, at the end of the day, this team has way too much talent to, rebuild, right? We're past that. They won 8 football games with Josh McDaniels being the head coach for way too long last season. Antonio Pierce has implemented this culture, this aura, this vibe, this energy, but most importantly, this intensity to the defense and just the culture and the locker room in general. You know, sometimes you see it's not always the most talented team that comes out victorious. Sometimes it's the most united team. And this is the most united I've seen a Raiders locker room since like well before Josh McDaniels' tenure, but certainly since Josh McDaniels' tenure. So the point is, you got cap space, you've got value offensively, defensively. You know, I'd like for them to like fully unlock Tyree Wilson, continue to get these chippy guys like they did with Jack Jones. I'm so excited about the future of Tom Telesco, Antonio Pearson, whoever their offensive coordinator is going to be. They got to retain Patrick Graham, but like, I'm getting excited. All right. And whether it's going to be Aiden O'Connell, whether it's going to be a veteran QB, whether it's going to be a rookie QB, it literally does not matter to me because I'm excited. All right. So, I mean, that really is it for today's video. But before we get it, or before we finish it, hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content. But guys, continue to mention, we've been talking a lot of Raiders this past week. Let me know who you want as your offensive coordinator, and then let me know who you want as QB1, or at least some possibilities. Like I said, I really liked that idea of Gardner Minshew. I really like the idea of bringing in a guy like Ryan Tannehill, especially if you're going to go full steam forward with Aiden O'Connell. So they have options, and that's a really good spot. That's what every GM, that's what every owner of every sports league out there wants. They want options. And that's exactly what the Raiders have for them right now. So that's it for today. Hit the like button, hit that sub button. We'll catch you in a few days, hopefully with an offensive coordinator announcement.